Now see here, economics has many different parts. Let me define a few for you. One of which is the term economics itself. Basically, it is the type of system each society uses to manage the marketplace. It also is the knowledge concerned with the consumption and production and distribution of wealth.
Hey now, what does that have to do with anything else that we were talking about just now?
It has to do with pretty much everything. Scarcity, factors of production, positive and normative economics, the whole shebang. For example, back in my day, scarcity and the factors of production were very important, and they still are. Scarcity determines how much of something there is or how much it is sought after. Like gold. It's very rare and highly sought after.
What about the factors of production?
Those consist of three things: land, labor, and capital. Land is, as the word implies, land. Labor is the human element in what we do. Capital is what we produce.
What is this positive and normative economics? What are those?
Well, my fat friend, positive and normative economics are basically fact versus opinion. Normative is an opinion, like Godzilla is actually Batman. Positive is a factual thing, like Batman is Bruce Wayne.
I'm Batman. I'm a Batman.
Batman, fat man, whatever you say, there's no difference. Anyways, some other things that affect our everyday lives are trade-offs. You know, it's how you choose, say, cheese over peanut butter. That doesn't have much to do with everyday life, but whatever. A trade-off is just choosing one thing over another. It's kind of like opportunity cost. You forgo other things so that you can have something else. One thing that is actually a bad circumstance is called the tragedy of the commons. This basically means that if everyone is allowed to use something for free, and that nobody really owns it, no one will take care of it.
Like a public park, yes?
Exactly, my German friend. Now then, there are also three basic economic questions. Who, what, and how. Who is basically asking who needs or wants the goods, how is asking how much, and what is asking what way we will produce it. These questions go hand in hand with the economic goals of a society. The economic goals are different for each type of economy, but for America, they are full employment, stability, economic growth, efficiency, and equity.
Well, what about other things like circuit flow, Adam Smith, specialization, absolute advantage, comparative advantage, market economy, command economy, and traditional mixed market economies? Huh? What about those things?
Well, I know what circular flow is. It is how money and resources flow between people and firms. Adam Smith is a Scottish philosopher. He wrote what is considered the Bible of capitalism. Specialization, however, is truly quite a simple concept. Think of it like this. You have one country that is good at making lumber, but bad at making glass. If you were to divide your materials between the two countries, the two things, you would be unable to make a very big profit. But if you were to put all of them into the lumber, you would have a very prosperous and efficient way to make a profit.
A real-life example might be the Amazon rainforest. People who live there may not be that good at making steel, but they're really good at making lumber because of the rainforest.
That is true.
Also, specialization is usually created by the absolute and comparative advantage. Every mentioned earlier, absolute advantage means you have the superior way of making something over everyone else. Comparative goes back to my previous example. It is where you can produce something better than another person, but they can produce something else better than you, like glass and wood.
Now, in regards to the types of economy, Putin can help here. There are usually 4 types of economic systems. As the American mentioned before, they are market, command, traditional, and mixed.
Market economy is where government has little to no involvement in how the economy is run, much like how Hong Kong is managed and run. Command economy are where everything is taken care of by government. Every decision you should be able to make on your own. For example, say you want chocolate chip cookies, but then government says, "No! You will have snickerdoodle because we have too many." Anyways, the third type is called a traditional economy. Is where nothing ever changes. Children take over family business, the dad dies, and then the son take over the business. Native American time. The fourth and final is the most common, and it is a mixed economy. It is where economy is primarily left alone, but the government has specific pieces and influences, like insurance and healthcare and such.
What about incentive, supply, demand, and externality? Firms, socialism, communism, the substitution effect, and the income effect. I may not be a scientist, but I know stuff too.
Well, by all means, Mr. Clump, enlighten us.
Thank you, sister boy. Don't really know your name. Anyway, incentives are things that are meant to improve something's chances of being bought. Like buy one get one free discounts at KFC. And the laws of supply and demand go hand in hand with each other. That rhymed. But anyways, the law of demand states that all other factors remaining constant, price and quantity demand of any service have an inverse relationship.
Very interesting.
Yo, German, butt up. It's my turn to talk, fool. Anyway, law of supply basically says the price and quantity produced have a direct relationship. Basically, here from that is price goes up, then the supply and quantity goes up as well. Now, externality is a bit harder to explain.
Then maybe I...
Hey, not today, little boy. Anyways, basically, it is side effects of doing something in your business that affect other things, like loaning money, like laying a honey farm, and the bees pollinating flowers nearby at another business or just in a field. In regards to a firm, well, it is just a fancy pants way of saying business or organization. Sell goods or services for profit. On a different note, socialism and communism, they are not good things. And they are different and yet the same in similar ways. Socialism is where the society as a whole has control over economic things. It's kind of in the middle of communism and capitalism. Speaking of communism, it's basically where the government is completely in charge of everything. So like our Russian friend said earlier. Now, the substitution effect is saying that if prices rise for something you want, then people are likely to find a substitute, like if you were to get Nutella, but the prices went too high, you just get the chocolate sauce. So it says good. Substitute costs less. The income effect says that consumption changes result from a change in real income.
But Sumo knows about these ones.
Bat sumo?
Yes. Equilibrium price, taste, and preference. Complements, elasticity, and inelasticity. Product markets, vector markets. Laissez-faire, ooh la la. Private property, and Cerberus paribus are all things that Sumo knows much about.
Whatever you say, devil boy.
Well, anyways, equilibrium price is when the quantity of goods supplied is equal to the quantity of goods demanded. It is where the supply and demand curves on the graph intersect. As you can see, I obviously enjoy taste very much. Ha! Nobody? Okay. Anyway, tastes and preferences are how consumers show what benefits them most and tells what the producers should make to have the biggest profit. Now, complements are goods that have a negative cross elasticity of demand and
Is elasticity. It's like stretchy band, no?
I am getting to that. Be patient. Well, elasticity and inelasticity are what tell economists how price does or doesn't affect something. Elasticity is how responsive a product is to price change. Inelasticity is how when price change doesn't affect the product at all. Product and factor markets are actually very much codependent. Without one, the other can't exist. Product markets are what sell goods and services that the factor markets produce in the final form, such as pencils or mirrors. Factor markets are what produce the raw materials for product markets, like stone or sand.
What about that French thing you said? Like the laissez-faire thing? What does that mean?
It is laissez-faire, you fool. Anyways, it means the belief that economies and businesses work the best when the government doesn't interfere.
So basically, most capitalistic thing ever. Private property is quite simply private property. It means that if it is your thing, then nobody else can touch it. Speaking of foreign languages, ceteris paribus is when all other things are held constant.
What other things?
I don't know.
Anyways, mind if I add to the discussion again?
No.
Thank you. The last few years, terms I want to inform you, but gentlemen, about privatize, consumer sovereignty, diminishing marginal returns, fixed cost, marginal cost, subsidy, excess tax, and regulation. Privatize means to make something into a private property rather than public, like somebody's land. It used to be private, but it used to be public, but now it's private. Consumer sovereignty is what it is called when the desires and needs of consumers controls what is produced in the market. Diminishing marginal returns are when a factory, for example, employs too many workers and the productivity has stops increasing and is at the verge of declining. It goes with the saying, too many hands spoil the broth. Now, marginal cost is the cost of producing one individual unit of a product or service. Subsidy is basically when the government grants money to a business to assure the prices of the business products remains low for the people of the country. Excise tax is basically that extra few cents that you are charged after making a purchase on, say, flour or gasoline at the gas station. Sort of the government's way of making money out of everyday life and everybody. Personally, I think it's kind of cheap, but gives me a White House. Anyways, regulations is the government's way of promoting certain things. It is broadly defined as the imposition of rules by government, backed by the use of penalties that are indeed specifically to modify the economic behavior of individuals and firms.